Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, we also talk about how we're going to fix it together. Now, what I'm going to show you on this episode is going to set some of y'all's heads on fire, because a sitting governor in Connecticut just suggested and floated the idea to confiscate all ARs because they provide a loophole in public safety. Now, whenever the Democrats stray from the public narrative, which is meant to dissuade any kind of concern, it's worthy of us jumping on it like a cat on a mouse, and that is what we are about to do. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and if you are new or a returning viewer, we would love for you to hit that subscribe button, like this video if you agree with the message, because we need to not only help this channel grow, but help it get as far as possible, and any consideration in helping with that, thank you so much. Now, the sponsorship of the day is from Smith & Bradley. They brought this watch to me that I'm actually wearing, and I think right before Christmas is something you need to consider. Now, the watch that I'm wearing is called the Discovery Quartz Field Watch. Traditional no-frills field watch designed for those who live outside, and it is their lightest watch. It has Swiss quartz movement, a NATO watch strap for security and comfort, solid steel construction, 10 atmosphere water resistance, 24-hour military time markings, light illumination for dark moments, and a lifetime warranty. Thank you so much to Smith & Bradley for sponsoring this weekend's content. And now, let's get to this, where I talk about Ned Lamont floating the idea of AR confiscation, and even the sitting gun-controlling Democrats were like, whoa, bro, easy. Whoa, easy. Let's not get crazy. Because they can't have the whole plan out this early. You got to do a little bit more first. Let's get into this. Like I said, it's linked. Editorial. Lamont finds little support in efforts to take away guns. There can still be benefits to trying. Now, of course, this is a leftist writing this in its opinion piece. But what I'm going to reference here is not only what Ned Lamont wanted to do, the sitting governor of Connecticut. He also goes through, it walks you through the failures on the Democrat side, the Republican side, and even the gun controllers are like, that might be a bit too much. Again, let's not let the whole cat out of the bag this early. We've got to do the whole slow boiled frog thing. Can't just throw that frog in a pot of water. But let's get into this. For a reference, here is Mr. Ned Lamont on the screen for you right here. Per usual, signing gun control laws, doing normal things like that. But let's get into these first statements. This is interesting. It is something of a surprise that Lamont, who walks alone in suggesting Connecticut should change course on grandfathering in AR-15s and military-style weapons that were banned in the wake of the Sandy Hook tragedy. Now, keep in mind, one of the mainstays on all gun control bills they put forward, the failed 1808, which is going to fail and die in 3 days. We're going to do a video on that one. Even the ones that are extreme in California and New York and all this, they still don't do confiscation because it's dramatically unconstitutional. There is no support for gun confiscation because then you are literally falling into the pitfalls of they're going to take your guns because you're actually doing it. It just doesn't happen. They always lay in this grandfather clause so they can say, we're not taking anything from anyone. We're just preventing future purchases. So we're not infringing upon the current. We're infringing upon the future, your children. That's kind of the MO, right? But let's keep going because I'm going to show you how it fell so flat on its face, it's kind of laughable. The 10th anniversary of the shooting at the elementary school has understandably inspired reconsideration of progress made towards gun safety. As progressive as Connecticut was under former Governor Daniel Malloy, it toughened such laws. Lamont seems to think an opportunity was missed. He's referring to getting rid of grandfathered in ARs. He's talking about straight out confiscation. Even the gun control advocacy groups are going, that's a bridge too far. You're going to get your hand caught in the cookie jar. The Democrats, nope. Republicans, nope. He didn't even mention it in his upcoming addresses on the anniversary of the Sandy Hook situation. This guy got smoked. Anyway, let's keep going. Quote, I think it's a loophole that makes our society here in Connecticut a little less safe, he said. So the entire assuagement of, no, we're not taking your guns. We're just limiting future purchase. Well, now that they've gotten that, it's, well, no, now we've got to take those too. Only there was some gun group in the United States that said that, everyone said it is a bot, it's a slow-boiled frog pot. Everyone says it. But that's the point. They're going straight into we did ban them, but now the grandfathered ARs, those are a safety hazard. Should we call it a loophole? Yeah, let's go with a loophole. That always works. Any more evidence needed? Again, I'm being sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek, but that kind of calls for it because it's so obvious of what we've warned about for years now, decades. Any such flip in a law would be a challenge, but the noting of an option to seize guns is so daunting that Lamont has drawn no real support even from traditional Democratic allies. That's because they know it's a poison pill. It is a hand grenade. Hey, who wants to hold the hand grenade? Senator Gary Winfield, Democrat New Haven, co-chair of the Judiciary Committee, told the Connecticut Mirror that he doesn't see support in the General Assembly. No kidding. State Senator Kathy Austin, Democrat Sprague, was even more blunt, telling the Day that, quote, "We made a promise to people. We need to maintain that promise. And that's from someone who opposed the law in the first place." This is the whole premise. They will always tell you, any gun control group will tell you, oh, it's just this incremental change for gun safety. We got to close this one loophole. We got to do this one little adjustment. It's all about the public safety over the individual rights. That's what they say consistently. No one's going to take your guns. That's a straw man argument. And then after they get what they want and they grandfather everything in, they go in and they say, oh, yeah, well, I'm just kidding, though, because it is kind of a loophole for safety. So we're going to need to take those too. They're letting the cat out of the bag, and you can't let them think this is just a slip of the tongue. This is literally someone straying from the Democratic talking points who's getting caught. Anyway, one more thing for you. Collectively, there are too many roadblocks for Lamont. Notably, he didn't mention confiscation in a news release last week about Sandy Hook and gun laws, but he is managing to force lawmakers to consider their own accountability when it comes to gun safety. If you hear nothing else in this entire video, understand that this is an incremental death by 1,000 cuts. All gun control is. That's why, for example, you had earlier on this month, you had Michigan when they took the Democratic Senate and the House and the governorship. It got a little more aggressive on AR bans, mandatory safe storage laws, red flag laws, all of those things. And then you go down to North Carolina, which is a Democratic governor with Republican House and Senate, and it's, well, we got to work together and think about some common solutions around maybe storage, suggestions, and education. It's always the same. The amount of intensity depends on the amount of control. It's always the same. In somewhere like Connecticut, where they got the ban on ARs, and then they said, well, we're going to grandfather them, and now it's all of a sudden, well, that's kind of a loophole we should probably fix for public safety. They do the same thing with red flag laws. Legit, I could go on for days, but this video is only supposed to be about 6 minutes. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.